few than me. Please be seated. One magnificent Minnesota constitutional conservative patriot who has just spellbound us this evening and keynoted the summit so beautifully. One magnificent Minnesota constitutional conservative patriot, I must say, outweighs in the scales, Michele, that whole freak show of Minnesota liberals. Don't you agree? At the risk of anticlimax, we can take a few questions, and there are microphones that will be provided you so you can make your questions heard. Stand to your feet if you have a question for Michele Bachmann, please.
Understanding that November is going to be a tremendous victory, and while we're not trying to be partisan, I'm interested to know what your thoughts are, because we've been hearing over the last weeks of what might happen during the lame duck session, and what your thoughts are on how to stop what we've heard, or what you think might be happening if we were to take over the House like we believe we will.
Well, I think one of the reasons Speaker Pelosi has made me her #1 member of Congress to defeat this fall is because I have been ringing the bell as hard as I can, going on every media outlet I can, writing everything that I can to tell people, get ready, don't believe these frauds, because they intend to enact the most radical agenda they can. We already know it. They've already let the cat out of the bag in numerous ways that they intend the lame duck session of Congress to be their finest hour, in their opinion, because they plan to pass card check, they plan to pass cap and trade, they plan to pass the mother of all omnibus spending bills. Why? Because they want to increase the baseline budgeting going forward. Everything that they didn't get done now they're getting nervous, including amnesty for illegal aliens. Because remember, Barack Obama right now is trying to figure out how he can individually, through an executive order and a stroke of a pen, give amnesty to all illegals. My opinion is, I don't think that that's going to happen, but if it doesn't happen before the election, look for that too. I mean, everything that you cannot believe. Now think of this, they will have just lost their franchise, most likely, or have just, finished, are about to enter retirement, and they plan to do this to the country, because it means no difference to them. Like Bill Armstrong, when he quoted the Declaration of Independence, that we rule by the consent of the governed. They missed that part in the Constitution. They rule by their own consent, and don't you forget it. This is reality, and I'm just here to tell you, every single person you know, your whole email contact list, you put this out, you go on talk radio, you write editorial, you Twitter it, I don't care what you do, smoke signals, you tell everybody you know that this is their plan. This is their plan. This will be their ultimate legislative session, a lame duck session, meaning after the election, if they lose power, they're going to have it all. Because remember, Congress is owned and the presidency is owned. It is one-party rule, and they realize that their time is coming to a close. They realize it. Speaker Pelosi knows it. I have a Democrat colleague who told me that Speaker Pelosi knows, in all likelihood, she's losing. They don't care. The leadership, quite honestly, doesn't care. That's according to one of my Democrat colleagues. Because they recognize they worked as hard as they did to get the power they have right now for a purpose. And they're using it. Just like a madman, believe them when they tell you what they're going to do. Listen to some of these individuals when they talk about the lame duck session. They mean it, and they plan to do it. Thank you so much for asking that question. because now you know.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for your service to our country. We need strong leaders like you, and especially as a woman, I'm just so proud of you. And I'm so tired of hearing that our country having to hear apologies for our country, and to finally hear someone who is so proud of America and can point out why we're great gives me such inspiration. Michele Bachmann, I want you to run for president in 2012.
During the presidential race, we heard another Michelle have another view of how she felt about America, and so now we're hearing another.
Michelle,
With all due respect.
do you have a comment about the president's latest recess appointment?
Oh, Donald Berwick, Dr. Rationing? Yes, I do. Now, this is another fraud from the White House. They told us, oh, he's a professor at Harvard. In fact, he's a couple of professors. He has 2 honorary positions through Harvard. So he doesn't have that. This is a fellow who hasn't seen a patient for years. Donald Berwick is an individual who loves the United Kingdom debt system of socialized medicine. He's been a consultant to Tony Blair in the United Kingdom, and he has said that yes, we need to have rationing, and that's what we will have. We just need to do it with our eyes wide open and recognize what these people mean by rationing. Now remember, the President's Chief of Staff is Rahm Emanuel. His brother is Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel. Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, like me, is not very nuanced. He is very forthright and he's very bold in his writings, and he has some incredible writings that talk about useful lives and rationing of care. And these people quite literally believe that before the age of 4, not so much. If you got this big physical condition, I think we're going to ration care. You're not getting it. And if you're age 55 and older, guess what? According to the graph, useful life drops off dramatically. Why do you think? Because it's about being useful, not to you, not to others, but to the United States Treasury. How useful are you to the United States Treasury? So government is fine about giving you health care when you can produce for the Treasury, but say when you're kind of getting to that point, you hit 50s, your body falls apart, you hit 55, we'll keep the healthy ones around, but then it drops off. These people are serious. It makes Kevorkian look like Mary Poppins. Does that answer your